Welcome friends to my channel with another video. As long as you enjoy this videos, please make sure to hit subscribe button. TIFU by getting scammed for $2,000. So I'm a truck driver and last night I got scammed for $2,000. It happened at the Terrible's gas station right before Las Vegas. I parked there to go to sleep and shut down for the night. I went down from my truck to walk around and stretch my legs. As I was walking around, a black SUV pulled up next to me and a rich-looking Middle Eastern guy rolled down his window in a panic. He looked desperate and his wife was in the back seat crying with her 2 kids. He was asking for help because his wife's purse got stolen in Vegas and it had all their things in it like money and their passports. I saw how distraught this guy was acting, so I took $30 from my wallet and I was going to give it to him. He pleaded with me that he needed more because he was heading to San Francisco, so he offered his necklace and gold ring. I refused and told him to just take the $30 so I could just go back to my truck and rest. He kept begging me and offering his jewelry. I started to feel bad for the guy, so I went to my truck and got $100. I was going to give this guy $130 for free. I told him I don't want his jewelry, I just wanted to help him and his family. He said he cannot take it for free and offered his jewelry still but said he would need more money. This is when I should have just walked away. Call me foolish and naive, but I just wanted this guy to go away so I could rest, so I figured that if I just gave him like $300 I wouldn't feel guilty taking the jewelry and he could have enough money to make it to San Francisco. He kept pleading and begging and adding more jewelry, and before I knew it I was giving this guy $750. Then his wife starts crying more and saying that they needed money for new passports and how it's $300 per person and that there's 4 of them. The guy offered the last bit of jewelry he had, which was a Rolex watch that he said costed tens of thousands of dollars. This is where I believe my greed got a hold of me, because this guy is telling me he's a rich guy from Dubai and he doesn't care how much the jewelry costs. He's just desperate for cash so they can make it to San Francisco and then back to Dubai. I don't know much about jewelry, so I thought if I gave this guy $1,200 for his Rolex watch, that I assumed was real because he's Mr. Big Shot from Dubai, I could sell the jewelry and get my money back at the very least. So in total I gave this guy $1,950 for 2 gold necklaces, 1 gold ring, and a Rolex watch. I was skeptical of course, but like I said, I think my greed was clouding my judgment. Once I gave him the money he began thanking me so much and prayed to his God, etc. etc. He hopped back in his SUV and drove off. I watched him drive off all the way till he went to the freeway. I realized something though. This fucking guy took the freeway entrance going back to Vegas. That's when my stomach turned and I knew instantly that I just got lied to. His whole story was about how he needed money to go to San Francisco. I walked back to my truck and laid down trying to process what just happened. I was staring at the jewelry and then I looked up how to tell if a 18K gold necklace is fake. That's when I saw a news video on YouTube about people get scammed on the road by Middle Eastern guys offering their jewelry. The news described exactly what I just went through and that the jewelry these scammers use is obviously fake. I feel like an idiot and can't believe how naive I was to fall for this scam. I never thought I would fall for something like this, especially since I watched scam call videos like Kitboga on YouTube. TLDR. I offered $30 to a family that I thought was in need of some gas money to make it home. $30 quickly turned into $130, then $300, then $750, and then a whopping $2,000 for a fake Rolex watch and more fake jewelry. Edit. I just want to say, although the person that scammed me is a scumbag, there's no excuse for giving $2,000 to a stranger I just met 10 minutes ago. That's just plain stupid and there's no excuse for that. It's 100% my fault. I'm by no means a rich person, but I'm not going to starve or fail to pay my bills because of this, but it's going to take a while for me to get over it. At the very least I hope this might help someone recognize if they're in a similar situation such as this one and get the heck out of there. I took a picture of the watch on my wrist because the freaking guy put it on me and I couldn't figure out how to take it off. Fool's gold. Edit 2. A lot of people are asking me why I have $2,000 cash on me in the first place. Although this is not a great reason. I play a lot of live poker, so I usually have some cash on me. I am aware that it's pretty reckless, but I do have this money hidden and secure. Anytime someone comes up to you in a parking lot in Vegas, it's best to not engage with them. Mr. Big Shots from Dubai never have emergencies. Anyone with a reasonable amount of net worth can always call up a private banker and get problems solved in a jiffy. I had someone pull up next to me at the pumps in a black SUV saying they had car problems and asked for help. They kept insisting I walk over to their car and stick my head in to look at their dash. He offered me his watch and necklace to do so. I just couldn't figure out what the game was and how he would try to get money from me, but I sure as hell wasn't sticking my neck into his car. I pulled up to the storefront, picked up my family, and left. I had similar. Guy stops me as I'm heading into the grocery store, asks me to jumpstart his car. I tried just saying I didn't know, but he was blocking my path and said he would do everything since he knew. Seemed decent at first. Walked towards my car, Asked which one was his. Says it's down and across the road at a drugstore, so I should just drive him over there to do it. That's when I realized he was up to no good, and told him I'm not doing shit and to get away from me. Tried calling me a racist and godless heathen, but eventually left. Told the store manager what was up cause he was going to other cars. Cops got called but he left by then. Was apparently a known scammer, and later heard that he might have actually carjacked/robbed someone a week or two after. Sometimes you really gotta trust your gut and just refuse. Saves your ass in the long run. When you hear, my friend, they are never your friend. Man, that's terrible. I'd like to donate $2,000 to you, but first please send me $500 to release the freeze on my bank account. If you didn't arrive with them or you don't want to give them money, do not even make eye contact with anyone in Vegas. Eye contact is literally the signal for, I want to give you my money, in Vegas. My mom, little brother, and I all had a Vegas trip. I had to continually deflect kiosk people for her because she was just too nice to not waste 30 minutes trying to go from point A to point B with everyone stopping her to sell her something. She got all enamored in a timeshare pitch and I walked up to them and was like, Mom, don't talk to them, just ignore them, walk away. And she was hesitant and I looked at the guy, this is a timeshare, right? And I gotta hand it to him, he admitted it was and you could see in his eyes he was like, yeah, this ain't gonna be a sale, and we walked away. First time in Vegas my wife and I were passing the exotic rental cars on display, like a Ferrari and Lambo out by the sidewalk, and I casually looked at them as we were walking by and the next thing I know this fast-talking guy was in my face trying to get me to rent one. I immediately looked back forward and continued walking and ignoring him and then he immediately switched to a rant about, what do you expect in Vegas? Blah blah blah, like suddenly extremely antagonistic. So weird. When people ask me for money I just tell them I don't have cash. Most of the time I don't have more than $20 on me anyway. Do you know if the gas station beggars are really only looking for gas, or do they escalate to try and get more? I had one situation where I took a route I don't usually go and stopped at a fairly busy gas station around midnight where an Indian family with two large men in the front, kids in the back pulled next to my truck and called out to me from inside their vehicle once I started pumping asking for gas. It looked like an act to me because he had the kids in on it, with their windows rolled down, hands together begging me along with the adults in the front. After I said no multiple times he pulled away to the tire pump. I stopped pumping gas as soon as he pulled away, got in my truck and left. I was mostly worried about the interaction with these two guys if it got to the point where I was paying for their gas, wanted to avoid the possibility of them taking my wallet or stealing from my vehicle. It can be hard to tell if people need genuine help or not, and I didn't like the feeling of being outnumbered. A smoking hot woman stole my wallet in a Vegas parking lot. She offered sexual favors and her friend stole my wallet while I was being pleasantly distracted. Once I realized what had happened I immediately went and bought a dozen more wallets and have had 7 stolen so far in the same parking lot. Damn, that really sucks, man. Try not to take it too hard, remember you're earning an honest living and he's a scumbag. I fell for something similar once. When the price they want keeps going up and up you know it's a scam. Well, you're not alone, buddy. Happened me, the same exact way, except this guy was on a freeway off-ramp. He was driving a nice Dodge Charger. I stopped on the side of the off-ramp, which I never do, kindness compelled, kindness is stupid sometimes. I had like $80 and offered to give it to him. He said the same thing, offered me a necklace, 2 rings and Rolex, but he needed more. I told him I can go to the ATM. He jumped in my car, his wife followed us. We pull into a bank ATM, my limit is $1,000, so what do? I pull out $900. Give it to him. He's praying and thanking me, asked for my address so he can send money when he gets home to Dubai cause you know, he's super rich. Wasn't until I looked at the jewelry and Googled and found I'd been had. SMH. All I can think of is I'm either too nice or too stupid cause these fools are making money. Yeah, you got in what they call a highway robbery scam. I'm sorry it happened to you. Please report it. You're lucky that they got away with just that. Also, it's good to hide most of your cash in the truck in the safe. I fell for something similar once. I was youngish, just moved to a new place and in the grocery store parking lot a guy offered to sell me a TV. New in the box, but he had the paperwork and remote with the new batteries in the factory plastic bag in his hand. I think the story was it was a gift to him but he needed the money to feed his kid/rent, something more important than having a cool TV. I went to the ATM and pulled $300 and gave him the money and took the box home. Turned out to be a wood frame to keep the box in the right shape and a couple bricks. So I paid $300 for a remote to a TV I didn't have. Never again, but that was a hard lesson to learn. This scam has been popular in Vegas for generations. My grandpa fell for it in the 1960s. Walked out of the casino with fat pockets. A foreign guy in a brand new car claimed to have lost all his cash, needed money to get home, and offered to sell his solid gold Longines watch for some small fraction of what it's worth. Guy drives off. Grandpa goes down the block to pawn it, but as soon as he walks in he realizes that guy could have just pawned it himself, and knew he got scammed. If there is one thing I want every non-watch person to take, it's this. Luxury watches without box and papers are virtually worthless and almost always a scam. Rolex has a database of every watch and who purchased it. Even if the watch was legit, all the guy has to do is report the watch stolen, and next time you need it repaired, Rolex see it's a watch flagged for being stolen and return it to the guy who reported it. This is why in gray/aftermarket dealers the rule is, you are buying the dealer not the watch, because trusting the dealer is 1000x more important than the watch being legit. There are plenty of reputable dealers, so don't stress too much if genuinely interested, but never expect to be able to get a watch off someone's wrist.